You will find that, especially in politics, people who treat others like they're stupid tend to be pretty stupid themselves. I think this perfectly describes Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and so many of his liberal ministers and MPs. They don't know anything, and because they're so ignorant, they think they can condescend to you without you noticing and say stuff like Canadians know before spewing out a bunch of uninformed nonsense. And Justin Trudeau put this on perfect display the other day when at a press conference, he basically said the economy doesn't matter, and that's just something for bankers to be concerned about. I'm going to play that clip for you in just a second, but before I get into that, I just want to remind you guys, if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment, and if you want to support the show, you can donate to the Give Send Go Legal Fund, both linked in the description below and pinned at the top of the comments. And also in the description and the comments is my website, wyattclaypool.com. If you want my recommendations for local nominations, both federally, provincially, as well as leadership races federally and provincially, sign up there and I can basically send you my thoughts on good conservative candidates to represent your area. Anyways, without further ado, here was Justin Trudeau at this press event. And this was in response to a lady with a good question saying, okay, it's great that you have this new program to get kids lunch at school, but how is this going to help the macro economy? It doesn't make any of these kids' parents better off. This is just a small little benefit to the kids themselves. Why don't we have programs that make life better for everyone so they can, afford to feed their own kids?
Whether it's investments in this school food program. And I take a little bit of issue with what you said about what the economy needs. What the economy needs is for people to be able to afford their groceries. What the economy needs is people to be able to be optimistic about the future we're building with good jobs, good opportunities for their kids.
Oh my goodness. Kamala Harris in the US was basically just the female version of this. I take a little umbrage with you saying that this isn't helping people, or people don't care about this because people need to be able to afford their groceries. People need to be able to be optimistic about the future. Okay, what is giving kids a sandwich and an orange at school do to make people optimistic and better off? Yeah, I guess it gives people a small benefit. Now they don't have to pay, $2 to make their kids lunch in the morning. School lunch does not cost a lot. If he cut taxes, people could pay for their kids to have whatever they want at school. But he's going to treat other people, people at this press event and Canadians in general, like they're dumb, and they need to be told that having money is good, even though he's not actually giving you back almost any of your own money. Yeah, there's that new HST GST cut, and he's going to ship everyone $250 in April, but that doesn't really do things for the macroeconomic conditions. These little cutouts don't actually make the economy better in the long run. It's a little, relief, but people are mostly just going to hold on to that money because they know it's not the cuts in taxes aren't going to last forever. It's going to last 2 months.
We're focused on Canadians. I'll let the bankers worry about the economy. We're focused on building opportunities for kids in a fundamental way.
He basically just said, I don't care about the economy. It's for the bankers to think about that. I'm just trying to help. Stop helping. You are too stupid to help. You are too Dunning-Kruger to help. If you guys don't know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is, it's that idea that people who have a little bit of knowledge about something oftentimes are the ones who think they know the most. Trudeau basically knows that money is in the economy and he likes money. And so he thinks he knows everything there is to know about economics. But if someone presses him enough on why his plans aren't helping the economy, he's like, bankers have to think about that. I'm here helping people. You don't have the skills required to help people. You're too befuddled to help people.
Being there to support families, because an economy works when families are confident about the future. That's why we continue to grow the economy from the bottom up, from the middle out, while Pierre Poilievre talks about cutting supports for families, cutting the investments in the future that Canadians are going to be relying on.
I guess we can just grow the economy on good vibes and emotions. We just need to feel better. It's like Care Bears. We just need to come together and love, and then the economy will grow. We just haven't made enough love investments in the economy, apparently. Justin Trudeau isn't even the worst offender at all this. One of the ministers sitting behind him, I believe it's Child Service Minister Jenna Suds here, talks constantly like everyone's been lobotomized. I don't know how they get these people. They need to get way better PR teams inside the Liberal Party. Like, I don't want these people to win the next election. Far from it. But if anything, I wish the Liberals were more formidable because it allows the Conservatives to be lazier the more pathetic the Liberals are. This is how Jenna Suds actually talks in a video where she's supposed to be like trying to get on the same level as other people. She thinks she is so high up and everyone else is so far down that she immediately goes into stupid people voice whenever she's talking about government programs.
Have you ever been hungry as a kid? Have you ever been at school and not been able to focus on learning because you've been hungry? Or there haven't been enough snacks to get you through the day?
Why is she talking like this? Why? Like, what is this crazy vocal fry and being like, I'm up here and you guys are down there? Have you ever been hungry before? Have you ever been human? Have you ever felt tiredness and sleepiness? What is this? Who let her on camera? It's wild that anyone lets her do this.
Children learn better when they have a full stomach, but not all parents can afford to send their kids to school with healthy foods.
Who can't? Honestly, who cannot send their kids to school with like an apple and a sandwich? It's way too affordable. The economy sucks, and I know you're going to be able to find like a wild card parent who, like, working as hard as they cannot afford to do this stuff. But this whole program was entirely unnecessary. Just lower taxes. If parents can't afford to do this stuff, lower their taxes. Cut the GST permanently. Cut a lot of the stuff permanently. Cut the carbon tax.
Our school food program is ensuring that kids have access to healthy foods at school so they can focus on being kids. We just signed a deal with Ontario to see 160,000 more kids receive food at school this school year. That's a game changer. Simply put, the National School Food Program.
You can even tell that she's trying to do another apple throw thing there, and then they just edited it out because it was a terrible bit.
That's a game changer.
But she was even going down for like the throw. This is torture. Why do they do this? Just have better programs for the one thing. That's first. Second, don't talk to people like they've never thought of the fact that food might be good for kids to eat at school. It's just horrifyingly ignorant to even talk to people like this. Here's her. And you could say, well, that was maybe a video for people, like for kids to watch. I doubt it. All this stuff is like policy announcements. But let's jump over to how she talks when she's on the news. Jenna Suds talks on the news. This is her on CTV News Power Play.
Well, frankly, if there is any child at a school that self-identifies as being hungry,
who self-identifies as being hungry, oh my goodness,
I think it's money well spent and an investment worth making.
Okay, if we spend hundreds of millions of dollars, I know that each of these programs in provincially are probably not going to cost that much, but altogether it's going to be like tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars for the school lunch program. If one child who self-identifies as being hungry is helped, then it was all worth it. It was all worth it, guys. We got one kid who is trans hungry. This kid is trans hungry, not even actually hungry. Oh my goodness. We have a trans hungry kid over here. They're actually full, but they want to identify as being hungry. If that kid feels fed after we spend tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, then it worked, guys. It really did work. And of course, there's kids who go to school hungry. That's just called being a bad parent. There's no way that you can't give your kid like a peanut butter sandwich. Maybe you can't do that because of peanut allergies. There are a lot of really cheap options you can give your kids. And if people truly can't afford this stuff, the thing we should do is not a government program. The thing we should do is give their parents back some of their own tax dollars, and not the stupid way that Trudeau's doing it through like carbon tax rebates and $250 handouts here and there. Just full year, 1% cut off of the income tax of everyone solves a crazy amount of problems. Cutting spending to reduce inflation, crazy amount of problems solved. Cutting regulations, crazy amount of problems solved. But they don't want to do that. With one kid is who identifies as hungry is made full from this money. It was all worth it. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's move on to another one. Chrystia Freeland, because I referenced the whole Canadians know thing. And she's talking about the GST holiday they're doing here. Everything is condescending all the time. They don't know how to talk to people like they're functional human beings.
And the good news is, now that inflation is under control,
it's not under control. It's just lower than it used to be. Under control would be like inflation this year is -1% or -1.5%. We actually are having our dollars valued more. And the government could do that. It could stop spending and then just take those dollars out of circulation because it was just inflation funny money. But like, no, they're treating you like you don't know how inflation works. We had like 5, 7, 9% inflation for multiple years during COVID. And now they're like, oh, inflation's only 2.3% now. Yeah, on top of all that other inflation, we have 2% more inflation. Goodness.
It's been within the Bank of Canada's target range for 10 months in a row. That has allowed the bank to bring down rates. And that has created the space for us to provide.
What's with this ukulele music, by the way, too, in the background? It's like we're in a Kickstarter campaign.
A little more relief for hard-working Canadians. This is going to be about giving just a little bit of extra help to families over the holidays from the middle of December to the middle of February.
What people know deserve help after that? What is this? Their own campaigning gives lie to what they're doing. If it's so good, then keep it. If it's just a stupid electoral handout because you can't actually afford to cut the GST that long because you're overspending and you don't have the money to pay for it unless you get to bring the carbon tax, the GST back, let's stop lying. Stop lying. Just get rid of the carbon tax. If you care about people's savings, do that. Cut income taxes, cut corporate taxes, do all that stuff. So, wait. So how is the GST sales tax being removed helping Canadians if supposedly the only reason prices are high is because of gouging from grocery store giants? That's what Trudeau and Singh keep alleging. It's price gouging. Well, if you lower the GST, wouldn't all the prices just go up because then the corporations will just steal that money themselves? They'll raise it 5% if the GST goes away in Alberta so they can keep profiting. Or is it that if you actually lower taxes, then the grocery stores will then benefit from people buying more? They have such a cartoonish view of the economy because they themselves are dumb and they think that you will buy this stuff because they are so Dunning-Kruger. They think they're geniuses and you think they're a genius. And whenever they start condescending to you, they're teaching you.
We are going to have a GST holiday. So prepared foods lifting GST.
Sorry, what was that? They're getting like B-roll here, and they got her. What does she got here? She's holding like a thing of like almonds, some spice, and she has like old El Paso like taco seasoning in her hand. Like, what is she like in the middle of her little press event here? She went and bought herself some ingredients.
Okay, so prepared foods lifting GST. Restaurant meals lifting the GST. That's going to include beer and wine on GST, and it's the holidays. So we're also lifting the GST on a carefully chosen basket of holiday gifts.
Why not just have the GST lifted on everything? Oh, well, we still need government revenue because we're spending too much. Oh my goodness, thanks guys. Maybe we should cut spending for a holiday for all Canadians. How about we have less burden of stuff to pay for by getting rid of all the nonsense? We have DEI stuff alone, HR alone, slashing those, eliminating all DEI, and then like slashing HR 50%. We could all be getting back hundreds of dollars per year just on that stuff.
Kids' clothes, diapers, car seats, kids' shoes, also on toys for your kids, also on books and periodicals.
Oh my goodness. They're the worst. Yeah. these people are the worst. Everything's so condescending. All these people who just pretend like that you're so dumb that they're gonna glamour you through like handing you back your own money, and you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, these people are so generous. They gave me $250. I'm like, yeah, they give you your own $250 back. This is taxes in Canada in every province, including Alberta, is higher than the highest cost state in terms of income taxes in the US. That shouldn't happen. That's also why I push on people like Danielle Smith in Alberta. Let's lower the income tax bracket. So let's go back to a 10% flat tax. Super easy. Ralph Klein did it. Let's stop pretending like, oh man, Ralph Klein was the greatest premier ever. And then we just don't do what he did. We always like pay homage to Ralph Klein in Alberta. And then our premiers since then have just never actually followed in his lead. It's annoying. Ontario, the upper tax brackets, because I didn't even know this for the longest time. And this is again, even Doug Ford and like the Ontario premiers over time also think you're stupid, that their upper tax bracket in Ontario is technically only 13%. But after you pay about $5,200 in taxes, you get a 20% surcharge added to everything you pay past that until you hit about $7,200 in taxes that you've paid. And then you owe them another 36% on all the taxes that you pay past that. So the actual upper tax bracket, if you're making like over 300,000, I know most people don't make that much. The whole point is that those are business owners and people who create jobs making that much. The upper tax bracket in Ontario, when you take all this into account, is like, I think it's like 30, like it's like 20.5%. And when you combine that with federal taxes, you're paying like 53% of your taxes in Ontario in upper brackets before you've even paid property taxes or sales taxes. It's stupid living in this country with all these stupid politicians who think we're stupid. Anyways, that's it for me today, guys. If you want to support the show, you can do what I mentioned before. Subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, donate to the Give, Send, Go Legal Fund. And I encourage you all, sign up on my website, WyattClaypool.com. I'm only going to contact you if you happen to live in a riding where there's a nomination going on and there's more than like 10 people signed up on the list. There's not much of a point in me like contacting one person to say, hey, you should back this guy. But if there's like really good conservative nomination candidates in your riding, or there's a great leadership candidate in your province, we have 2 provinces about to go into leadership races, Manitoba for the PCs and New Brunswick for the PCs. I can sort of like rank people in order of how conservative they are. I'll be making videos on those races as well. But even as far down as like a provincial nomination for a conservative provincial party, I can like tell you who's the guy who's actually conservative, who's not going to treat you like an idiot and just actually cut taxes, actually deregulate, actually do the things that we want people to do in politics with no excuses added on for, well, you have to understand there's a lot of regulations you have to go around. Then slash them. Oh my goodness. Huh. Every video I do turns into a rant. Hopefully you guys don't hate me for it. See you guys next time.